Hello and welcome to 6.2 Lab 3. Let's go ahead and dive in, open this file and your JS file like usual. And let's look at what we're going to do here. We're going to create a function, lab62_3 function, and we're going to create two array variables. This is where we're going to deal with parallel arrays. And so you can just copy and paste this code in there so you don't have to retype everything. Now one thing, let me just take a sidestep for a moment and talk about parallel arrays. A lot of times when you're working on an application, you're not going to type it hard-coded in like this. A lot of times the data that you're going to receive is going to come from some other source, like a database that you're getting that information from, or maybe a third party, so you're hitting a web service or something where you're pulling that data back. Whenever you're working with data in parallel like this, you just need to be careful with your logic. For example, I have my first student there in my names, Latasha Peaks, and her score is a 76. Boyd, he's got a 99. We wouldn't want to mix that up, where Latasha now has a 99, Boyd has a 76, or Latasha will be extremely happy and Boyd will be extremely disappointed. So we want to make sure we work things correctly when we're working with parallel data. In fact, a lot of times what I'll do is, if I'm getting this from a database, I may lump it into a one two-dimensional array, and that way I'm hitting one array and I'm lumping that stuff together. Or I use a JSON object where I'm have an object of Boyd and then he has a property of 99, that sort of thing. But sometimes you'll work with parallel arrays like this, and I just want to go through this with you so you understand kind of how these are working. So we're going to have those. Excuse me. We're going to have a variable and use the getElementById to get our table. And then we're going to have a loop that goes through the scores looking for a score of 88 or above. When we hit that, we're going to output the student's name and table in a row. And I've got an example of arrays that you can click on here and see some information in it. So if you need to take a look at that, feel free. Now let's just check the output here. And the example I have, I'm going to have all those names listed, and if they have 88 or above. So let's take a look at how we're going to do this. So in our HTML, in our output div, I have a table, or I have an ID of output table, so I can grab it. The class there of content table is just stylistic. And then I created a table row with two headers for name and exam score, so that I can add rows and put them in their columns appropriately. So then in my function, I have a scores variable, and I have a names variable with the appropriate data. Then in my output tag, my output variable, I simply said go into my document, get my element with an ID of output table. So I grabbed that HTML element of output table, that table tag, and dumped it in my output variable. So now I have a hold on that. And then I'm just doing a loop. So in my loop here, I'm looping through my scores, starting at 76, going all the way through to 79, just a normal for loop. And I'm just testing it. Is my score greater than or equal to 88? If it is, then I'm saying, okay, I want to compound add to my table a table row with a table data cell of names. And notice I'm hitting, even though I'm looping over my scores array, I'm hitting my names array and using the same I variable to make sure I pull out the exact same. So if I'm pulling out 99 here, I want to pull out Boyd. So that's why I'm using my names bracket notation there. And then I'm pulling out the scores with the appropriate HTML tags interspersed for my cells. So this example is just to show you how you can go through, loop through one array and hit a parallel array at the same time. You just got to be careful that you're doing it correctly so that you pull out the appropriate information. So like in my scenario, that Boyd is getting the right score and not Latasha, who did not earn her 99. So if you do that correctly, you'll get that table. If you have any questions, let me know, and happy coding.